I'm out here interacting with my friend. This friend is called nature. So I like spending some time out here with nature, just admiring the trees, admiring the rivers, and all that. So although I've said that I am out here, and I don't really think I'm out here, I think I am in here because sometimes we think we are out of something, but in reality, we get out of something and then we get into something. So, yes, for sure, I am out of my house thinking that I am outside, but in reality, I am inside because, I'm in this world and I'm in this universe and all that. So, that's to tell you that sometimes people focus so much on what they are out of instead of realizing the reality that they are out of something into something else. So when you get out of the country, you ignore the fact that you get out of the country, but you get into another country. So maybe we should try most of the times to focus on what we have got into, not really what we have got out of. That's something for you to think about. I'm here for a different conversation because what I'm just relaxing here, interacting with nature. I would call it kind of meditative environment. But while seated here, I've found myself, I've found myself replaying a certain conversation that I had with a friend just a few days or weeks ago. And I've had a different perspective about it, about that conversation. And a friend of mine, just a few days ago, told me that, Eliud, you are going far. So for a moment, I took that as a compliment. But again, after a second, I gave it a thought and I was like, wait a minute, what did you just say? And he repeated, he said, Eliud, based on, he used the word venye unajituma. Based on venye unajituma, you are going far. But I asked him now, that's conversation, those words you are going far, sounds familiar. It's like it's not the first time that I'm hearing those words. And then I realized that about 15, 20 years ago, maybe when I was around 15 years or 10, around there, I don't know, my mother told me a similar thing, that Eliud, you are very hardworking. Well, of course, in vernacular. You are very hardworking and you are going far. And then I told my friend now, I asked my friend, so 20 years ago, my mother told me that I'm going far. 20 years down the line, you as a friend, you are also telling me that I'm going far. So I asked him now, between you and my mother, who is lying to me? Because 20 years down the line, I should be the far that my mother that was talking about. 20 years down the line, I should have got that far that I was told. Do you want to tell me that I still have another far that I need to go? You see, you're going far. So it is possible then, after another 20 years, someone else is going to tell me, Eliud, you're also going far. Then I'll be around 50 or 60 there. And so, right now I'm talking about that. I also remember something else. That at one point, I think when I was maybe 10 or 8 there, I had a similar conversation with my grandmother. And my grandmother told me, Eliud, of course in vernacular, you have a bright future. You have a bright future. And I believe when my friend was telling me that I'm going far, in other words, he was also telling me the same thing. That, Eliud, you have a bright future. So then, I'm asking myself right now, does that mean that the bright future that my grandmother was talking about when I was 10 is not yet bright? Is it that I am not yet to the future which is bright? Or the future, I'm already in the future, but it's not bright? You see? And then I'm asking myself also, could it be that when I'm thinking about having a bright future, it's not that the future that I'm in right now, because the present moment at the age that I'm in could probably be the future that I was talking about when I was 10, 20. You see, when you are saying you have a bright future. So that means that I'm already in the future that I was talking about 10 years ago. So is it that I'm already in the future and the future is not bright, or I'm already in the future but I'm bright, the future is already bright, but I am bright such that I cannot see the brightness? You see, these are fundamental questions that we need to ask ourselves from time to time. Because most people live each and every day in the hope of a better tomorrow, in the hope of a brighter future, in the idea of I am going far. But the question is, what if you are already far, you are already in the far that you were talking about 20 years ago? What if that you are already in the bright future, but you are actually the one who is bright, you cannot see the brightness of the future that you were talking about 20 years ago or 10 years ago? So I want you to think about that and probably give your reaction in the comment section and tell me what you think about that. Because I think it's the same thing that you find a 60-year-old entangled in. You find a 60-year-old who is talking about a bright future, who is still talking about I'm going far. So where is this far? Where is this bright future? Because when you are 20, you are talking about a bright future. Or you are 40, you are talking about a bright future. Or you are 60, or you are 70, you are still talking about a bright future. So what if that the future, which is now the present moment, is already bright enough, but we are the ones who are blind such that we cannot see the brightness? So I'll leave it to you. In meantime, I'll continue throwing some stones in the river, because you know the water is very allowing of that. You know, I can throw whatever I want to the water and it will just absorb it. You know, it will not try to resist the stone, no matter the size of the stone that I throw in the water. The water is just going to allow the stone to sink, no matter how big or small it is. You see? So that means that the water is very flexible. It's allowing. It doesn't try to resist something. You know, when you throw something at the water, it doesn't try to resist. It just, you know, allow the stone to sink, and then it continues flowing. That is just like to say, you know, just the way the water is allowing of anything. You should be flexible in life, eh? Just like water. Don't try to resist anything. Don't hold on to anything. Just let things flow through you. Just let things sink through you and then continue flowing. I would like you to subscribe to this channel. And also, when you feel like you have been rejected by people, when you feel like nobody wants to be with you, try nature. Try spending some time out here. When you come out here, there will always be birds. You'll always find birds which are willing to start a conversation with you. You don't even have to talk to them. The moment you get into the nature, they are waiting to have a conversation with you, to talk to you, to sing to you. There will always be branches and trees, you know, dancing around, entertaining you. Yeah? So when people reject you out there, take it from me. It's not that the world has rejected you. Nature itself has not rejected you. You come out here, you look in the waters, in the river, and there'll be insects on the surface of the water that are dancing, you know, making moves, you know, entertaining you. But you see, somebody can still come out here, look at all that, and still decide not to see the beauty in the nature. Decide not to listen to the birds having a conversation. Decide not to see the dances that are being made by leaves and trees and branches and all that. So when you feel like the world has rejected you, it is because that small circle, that small world that's allowed you, that small world that you have created for yourself, that is what has rejected you. But in reality, nature itself is waiting for you. Nature itself is willing to have a conversation with you. So if you feel depressed, probably it's because you are spending too much time out there. Try spending some little more time in here, inside of you. Instead of spending all your time out here, out there in social media, on TikTok, trying to scroll through videos, listening to hate threats, hate conversations, and rejections and all that. Try spending some little more time within, and you come to realize that there's more love, there's everything that you need from within. The nature is waiting for you. In the river, insects are waiting to dance for you. The branches, the trees are waiting to, dance a little bit for you. The birds are waiting to sing for you, to have a conversation with you. So the question is, are you listening? Are you going to enjoy that? Or you get your depression from your house and then bring the same depression to the world, to the nature out here. So, well, I think that conversation went well. Remember to subscribe. Next time I visit my friends out here, the trees, the rivers, the waters, the birds and all that, probably we will have another conversation. Thank you so much. Subscribe.